Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Anduin Wrynn is going to be a major character in the upcoming expansion Battle for Azeroth. We all already know that. But there are also quite a few events that happen outside of the game that you guys might not have heard of. So here's a few nifty things about Anduin, and hopefully that'll help to enhance your experience towards the new Alliance King. Number 1. Anduin is very skilled with ranged weapons. Since young, Anduin has trained with a bow and has been portrayed to be pretty good at it. Unlike his father, who always wanted to groom him into a superb warrior, Anduin has little skill or talent for martial training or the handling of heavy weapons. There have been multiple depictions of him going for hunts with his bow, whether alone or with his father Varian. Also, during the Scourge invasion, under Bolvar's command, Anduin stations himself atop a watchtower, firing upon the undead below, killing many of the fiends. In addition, Anduin is also skilled with throwing daggers, as he was trained by none other than Valeera herself. During the same invasion, Anduin hurls a dagger toward an undead that ambushes his father, saving his life in the process. It's a real pity we don't see his ranged skills in-game, probably very much to do with the fact that priests in-game can't use bows. If we take his backstory into account, it just seems really weird for him to be carrying around that little golden wand, or now his father's giant sword. Maybe Blizzard just wants to avoid a potential uproar in the priest community wanting ranged weapons if Anduin became a really cool, ranged priest rogue hunter combo thingy. But yes, still cool nonetheless to know that he is a pseudo archer priest. Number 2. Anduin destroys a Dreadlord. These next 2 points occur within the comic Anduin, Son of the Wolf, a really cool comic book that I encourage you to check out, and it's free. I'll provide a link to it in the description below. In the story, Anduin is ambushed by a Dreadlord, disguised as a soldier, in his throne room. Fortunately, and incredibly, Anduin is able to overpower the monster, trapping him against the wall. At this point, I'd just like to remind everyone of how powerful Dreadlords, also known as Nathrazim, are. Dreadlords are basically the right hand of Kil'jaeden, acting out a spectrum of roles from intelligence agents to tacticians and lieutenants of the Legion or undead troops. They are never seen to be weak, are always in positions of leadership or authority, and wield great powers of magic. The most infamous ones that we know of, Tichondrius, Mal'Ganis, Varimathras, Mephisroth, are all incredibly powerful and constantly return to wreak major havoc or contribute to the plot in some big way. In a nutshell, they are some of the most powerful beings we have encountered, and yet Anduin was able to trap one, all under his own power. The Dreadlord slowly tries to weasel his way out with his cunning, attempting to persuade Anduin to bow over and join the Legion for the sake of his people. Drawing upon his father's words of advice, Anduin refuses. Amazingly, he then conjures up a magical holy hammer, smashing it upon the Dreadlord's chest, obliterating him in one stroke. This is absolutely insane. The power of a Dreadlord, a minor one nonetheless, one-shotted. For anyone who doubted Anduin's power before, this is a clear showing of it. His father may have one-shotted a Fel Reaver, but Anduin has one-shotted a Nathrazim. It seems his casting of a mass resurrection spell in combat during the BFA cinematic isn't a gross exaggeration of his power after all. Number 3. Old Anduin. If you've ever wondered whether the boy king will meet his end sometime in the war, well, this part would answer that question for you. At the end of the same comic, Anduin is portrayed as an old man. He is in the Exoda, or at least something very similar to it, reading the same letter that his father left him so many years ago. Velen addresses him as High King, hinting toward the fact that he may still be the leader of the Alliance, or as many have predicted, the leader of the Army of the Light. They are preparing for a battle, the very last one apparently. Anduin grimly states that there is only one more battle to fight, and Velen optimistically remarks that the light will triumph over the shadow this day. Most agree that this alludes to the final battle of the light against the shadow, and thus clearly revealing that in BFA, we are only at the very beginnings of the battle of the light against the void. Nevertheless, it also shows that Anduin has absolute plot armor throughout any encounter that we will ever see him through the days of Warcraft. He will never truly die until the end of the world, or at least maybe around 60 years later. You could take this as a good or bad thing. Predictability does bring about with it a degree of boredom, knowing that the leader of the Alliance, or at least the humans, is pretty much never going to die. However, at the rate at which major leaders die in Warcraft, so many of them, from kings to war chiefs to dragons, it might actually be a good thing to have a degree of stability for once in a long time. And that's a wrap. 3 cool things about Anduin that you may not have known about. I guess he's not that much of a pushover as always referred to. And if you have the time, I'll really encourage you to check out the free comic Son of Wolf. I'll provide a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in Azeroth.